Shalom everyone, this is Kris Shoemaker, also known as Yehudah ben Shomeyr, and welcome to the Daily Drash. Today's Daily Drash is taken from Ezra chapter 6. So let me give you the backstory here. The Jewish people returned from Babylonian exile and captivity, and they were given permission by the king to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem and rebuild the temple of God. However, the people of the surrounding nations saw the activity, didn't like what was going on, and decided to investigate to see if these Jewish people had permission to rebuild the temple. When they looked through the old archives, the old Babylonian archives, they discovered that the king did in fact give them permission to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem and rebuild the temple, and that they shouldn't be hindered, but in fact they should be provided with sustenance and materials needed to achieve this task. And so eventually everybody left them alone. But one thing that I want to point out here is in chapter 6, verse 14, it talks about the prophets, specifically Haggai and Zechariah. These two prophets played a key role in encouraging the Jewish people to rebuild the temple and to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. And some people ask, well, what's the point in going to synagogue? What's the point in going to church? What's the point is we need the camaraderie and we need the company and the fellowship of other believers and other like-minded people so that we can be encouraged. That's one of the reasons. People say, well, I can stay at home and worship God. Well, that's not the point. We could all worship God on our own, but there are times where we need corporate worship. We need to worship with other people and other believers. I worship God all the time in my car. Have a CD playing or the radio playing, and I'm worshiping God, or, I take a walk by myself out in the woods and I pray and I worship the Lord. Yeah, those times are great. Get up early in the morning, do my devotions while everybody's still in bed and asleep. Yeah, that's worshiping God. That's great. But God did not create us to be an island, to be alone, to be individuals. He created us to fellowship with other people. He created us to not to be alone. He said it's not good for man to be alone. That's why he created the woman. So we are built and created for fellowship with other people. We need that encouragement of other people. So that's why we need to regularly attend synagogue or church. And, you could listen to a TV preacher or a preacher on the radio or whatnot, but it's kind of different when you're live there and in person, sitting in the audience listening to a preacher. And it says here in Ezra chapter 6, verse 14, it says, the Jewish leaders continued in their work, and they were greatly encouraged by the preaching of the prophets, Haggai and Zechariah, son of Iddo. So, let's liken the Jewish people that are rebuilding the wall and rebuilding the temple to everyday Joes out there who attend church and synagogue. We are serving God in our daily lives, whether at school, whether at work, whether at home, whether in our neighborhood, whether in our community. We are serving the Lord where we are. We are doing the Lord's work by living the life of a believer in front of everyone, loving God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, loving our neighbor as ourselves, helping other people, fulfilling the commandments. That's our work. That's our task. That's our job. So when we go to church or synagogue, we get encouraged to continue that work that we're doing by the rabbi or by the pastor. It says the Jewish leaders continued in their work, and they were greatly encouraged by the preaching of the prophets Haggai and Zechariah. There were times where I could not attend a fellowship or did not have a fellowship in the area that I could attend. And, I was able to sustain myself through my own Bible reading and devotions and listening to speakers online or on TV or the radio or what have you. But there was something sorely missing from my life. I missed that fellowship of other believers. I missed just that being there live and in person and being encouraged by the local minister, because the local minister had a pulse on what was going on in the community, and the messages he received from the Lord were specifically for that people group, for that community. So it was very applicable. Therefore, it was very encouraging. That's why we need to find a body of believers that truly believe the Word of God and love God and that are not fake, and we need to join ourselves to them so that we can encourage one another. Not saying that we're going to agree 100% with everything that everybody else believes or what that particular congregation or minister believes, but that we agree on the major hardcore things enough that we can be a part of the solution and not be a part of the problem. Not focus on the things we disagree on, but focus on the things we do believe corporately, and be able to encourage one another and build one another up and do something great in that community. So that's why it's important to attend church or synagogue, because it says the Jewish leaders continued in their work, and they were greatly encouraged by the preaching of the prophets, Haggai and Zechariah. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Go out there and have a great day. Shalom and Shavua Tov. Abraham'sDescendants.com, getting back to the 1st century in a 21st century way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press the like button as well as the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and the notification bell that'll let you know every time I make a new video. And don't forget to share this with a friend. Also, visit our website at Abraham'sDescendants.com. Thanks. Shalom. Thanks for watching. Stay connected by subscribing to our other social media accounts and visiting our website at Abraham'sDescendants.com.